Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Lou Streets. I'm back with another episode of LS Vision. And in today's content, what I want to do is start a series called How to Create Content. My reason for doing this is recently a friend asked me how do I make my thumbnails, and I take a lot of pride in them. I like to put a lot of flash and flair into mine. Not too much that's over the top, but I do like to grab attention with them. So I decided that it would be best for me to go ahead and show him that, and also just start the series in general because of the fact that a lot of the times when I was trying to get my channel off the ground and trying to research information to optimize the performance of my software and my hardware, what I would run into is everybody seemed to be biased towards PC, and there wasn't a lot of information out there for using the Mac. In case somebody wants to start a channel up and they're using Mac, I don't want them to run into as many issues as I did with trying to find solutions at every single turn. So I decided this would be a great idea for me to start this particular content while using the Mac, which you'll see on my screen recording, because a lot of people are visual learners. That's the whole point of YouTube, to be a visual learner. With that being said, what I want to show you guys today is how I create my thumbnails in Photoshop. If that's not in your budget, I'll also do a small segment probably on the back end of the video where I show you guys how to use Canva, which is an online photo creator, and that is a reliable source. I believe it's like $12 a month or something like that. I'll also put the link in the bio. But with that being said, let's get started. I'll show you guys Photoshop, show you Canva, so let's get it going. Okay, so pretty much what you're looking at here is some of my past ones that are just saved in Photoshop. So what you want to do first is go to New in Photoshop, of course. Your new document menu will pop up, and so what you always want to make sure to pay attention to, and let me open this up so you guys can get a better chance of seeing it. Let me just zoom it on in. So if you look right here to the right where I'm highlighting, you have 1280 on width, 720 on height, and you always want that to be in pixels. Make sure that your background contents are in transparent. That way when I open up the program, you won't have a background whatsoever. Alright, and so you see when you open it up, I have my transparent background, pretty much just like the one that you saw on the transparent PNG online. Since that Vegeta was blue and red, what I'm going to do is just make a simple background with a gradient. So if you come down here to the line tool, I want to make sure I hold that in, bring that over to the rectangle tool. So we have our rectangle tool selected. And what I'm going to do is just make a solid background. I'm not going to do anything too flashy or over the top, just because of the fact that this is a tutorial and I want to just give you guys the main information. So what I'll usually do is let that rectangle tool open up. When it opens up, you'll see it's a green square because my square here is selected as this color. That Vegeta was blue and red, so I'm going to make some colors like that. So what I want to do is open this up, come over to my gradient box right here. That'll give me two colors to select, and then let's just pick a starting template. I said that Vegeta was blue and red. Let's go with three colors just for the hell of it. So I'm going to, at the bottom, place my typical Vegeta blue, which would be roughly close to this color. The middle, I'm going to make that white just to add for some openness, and then the top, I'll do that version of like that Super Saiyan God reddish tint that he has to an extent. It might not be as accurate. I'm trying to save the time for convenience. What's the deal with this at the bottom? I have this. Oh, okay, I guess it's just saying I didn't go far enough. Okay, so I scrolled that down so that we have that in place now. So we have our background. So I'll go back to my downloads from where I downloaded the transparent PNG. Let's get Vegeta. Let's slide him on in. So now we have Vegeta here. Let's just put him off to the left side just for the hell of it. Let's put him there. I also have some pre-content saved. When you guys get used to things like this, you won't necessarily need it, but I'm going to do it just because I do have a Dragon Ball Fighter Z logo saved on one of my drives just for when I'm creating my content. I'm going to go and find that. Here it is. Let's bring that on in here, drag it in. Alright, so I want to move this on down some. One thing that I do love about Photoshop, and I believe Canva has this also, I'll show it briefly. What I love about Photoshop is when you're placing things, they'll kind of give you lines just to kind of say, you know, this is an even spot. If you look here across Vegeta's eyebrows, you'll see this pink line that I have. It's just trying to say that it's a good set place as far as placement goes. It kind of shows that, you know, it's in a good spot. It looks symmetrical. That's kind of the main intention of it. So let's do that. Maybe shrink this down some. One thing that I like to do a lot of times, because the sayings glow, and I mean you can do this with anything, this pretty much applies to letters, words, objects, anything. You can just put a glow on something. So I'm going to highlight Vegeta's layer, which is right here to my right. I'll double click in the open space. When I double click in the open space, it'll bring up some blending options. I want to do like an outer glow on Vegeta, so we're going to make that, he's Super Saiyan God red right now, so we're going to make that red just for fun. It's actually already red, coincidentally, or like a pinkish tint. I'm going to bring it up to that other color. Spread out just a little bit. I don't like the spread. The size, there we go. I'm sorry about that. It wasn't the spread, it was the size. So I'm going to bring the size out just a little bit so you can kind of see that glow. And maybe I'll give it a different color just so you can kind of see a distinctive contrast to what I'm talking about. So let's make it yellow. So now you can see it a little more visible with yellow. So I'll bring that on down just to make it a little bit brighter just so you can see it. I'm not really going for style. This is more just about kind of showing you guys some of the simple basics of things. So we have Vegeta's layer selected. We double clicked it to put an outer glow on it. As you can see, there's the color for the yellow right there. That color's around him. We'll okay that. And then I just want to add some simple text. So I'm going to make this simple. Here's the text box. Right over here where you see this T at. We're going to open that on up. If the beach ball ever decides to stop rolling, we'll open that up. I'll make a text box just big enough. I'm going to name this, let's just name it thumbnail tutorial. How about that? Thumbnail, pardon me again for my kindergarten typing. Thumbnail tutorial. That's just me trying to bump my camera. Let's highlight it all just so we can have it selected. I want to center it, so you would come right here, center it up just to make it look a little bit better. Since Vegeta is this color, how about to make it obvious what we're doing? Let me see, we have a reddish tint. Let's just go with let's go with a darker blue to match his shirt. How about that? Somewhat of a darker blue. Again, with this here, we're just pretty much going for the basics of showing you guys what we operate. I'm not really focused on style. I will show some of my other thumbnails at the end so you'll kind of see as to what the total project can look like when it's done. So let's just go with that light blue right there. So then we come down here to where I have that selected. Come down here so you see it's blue. I'm going to double click the layer that has the thumbnail tutorial text. I want to put a stroke on that just to make it a little more visible since it's blue lettering. I'm going to put a stroke, maybe make the stroke black just so it'll stand out a little bit more. The size is at 3, which makes it, as you can see when I move this, let me move this over. As you can see when I move the size, you see how the boldness around the text kind of changes. So I'm going to put it about a 3 so you guys can see it visibly. All right. And then, so that's pretty simple right there. Let's just change the font. I got a lot of different fonts saved in here. The fonts may throw off when I slide through because of the fact that the text box is a certain size. And all you got to do is open up the text box size when you change it. So specifically because I said that, I'm going to find something that's bigger that doesn't fit in the box. Just so I can actually stretch the text box and show you that it'll still fit after the fact. So let's get something really cool, big, and that's ugly. How about this? How about Def Rattle? That's one of my favorite ones. So, okay, you see Def Rattle's pretty small. I'm gonna go right here where you see the T and the lowercase t. That's the size of the font. We're gonna increase it to, that's a little too big. Let's go to about a 36. All right, I'm gonna stretch my text box out some just so it can fit. Then I'll go right here down to my spacing. I'll change that manually just to put some distance between the top word and the bottom word. The larger the number, the more space in between. That's 48. That's a little too far. Let's drop it down to 30. That's decent. Then over here, I'll bring my other spacing out, which is going horizontally just to kind of pull the letters apart. It's set 0, which makes it pretty close. I want to put a little bit of space between the letters. So let's go to 25. Let's see what 50 looks like. No, I'm not in love with 50 because it didn't fit in the box. I'll go 25, stretch the box slightly, just so we know we'll get a clean fit. Okay, that's that. So we have thumbnail tutorial here. It's definitely not that beautiful, but like I said, again, this is strictly for showing the operations of the of Photoshop versus like the actual style. Like I said, I'll show some finalized thumbnails when I'm done. So that looks decent, not beautiful. How about we make this a different color? I don't like that color. Let's go. Let's roll with this reddish Vegeta kind of. As a matter of fact, one thing that I like to do sometimes is if I'm going to use two colors, I'll open up the layer for a rectangle, and you see I have this over here where I have my original gradient, which is this top background over this way. That's in this box down here to the bottom right. So I'll double click that. The value of that color is listed here. So I'm going to right click and copy that value. Cancel this out so it doesn't change anything. Go back to my original layer where I have the thumbnail tutorial text selected, highlight it, come over here to color. Then I'm going to copy and paste that, and boom, we got the exact same one now. So let's look at that differently. Looks a lot better. Since we have the yellow on Vegeta, I'm going to just put that same drop shadow, or not the drop shadow, I'm sorry, that outer glow around this text. Oh, let's try a drop shadow, just out of curiosity. Let's just see what it looks like. So, drop shadow, which should be, I don't love the black. Let's go to outer glow instead. Outer glow, and as you see, that same outer glow pops up from where I initially did it. A lot of times whenever you do like one of the same operations on two different layers, it'll bring it back as showing the like the first layer that you did with that. So since I did the outer glow with the yellow on Vegeta, that's what's automatically going to pop up with the lettering, and then it's up to me if I want to change that. I'm going to leave it the same just for the sake of convenience. I'll just bring the size down so it's not as big, you know. And I mean, that's pretty much like your basic thumbnail. This obviously isn't too incredible because I'm just kind of rushing through it for the sake of showing you guys how some things work. One thing I like to do sometimes is bring in an identifier. I have my LSV PNG saved on my computer, so naturally I would just open that up, drag it on, size it down, find a place in Photoshop where it contrasts with the background color. Since it's red and white, I'm going to put it here. I probably normally wouldn't place it here. If you look at some of my other thumbnails, they tend to be to like the left or the right in the upper portion of the thumbnail. But just for the sake of convenience, we'll just put that here. Boom. And we have that done. Obviously, it's not that gorgeous, not that fascinating as far as style, but now you just have a basic thumbnail. I'll show you some of the different ones that I do use in some of my past videos and some of my upcoming ones, just to kind of show you. It usually takes me a lot longer, maybe roughly like 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how much style I want to put into it. But just for the sake of showing you all operations, this is kind of like the basic idea of what I like to do. And then as far as putting it out, I would go to export as, of course, loading, taking forever. It starts initially as a PNG. That's just how I have mine set. Whenever I am exporting for an actual thumbnail, I like to move mine to JPEG. As you can see with the image size, the width is still 1280, the height is still 720, and it's scaled at 100. You always want that in pixels, and the reason for that is because that's the default YouTube thumbnail size. So I'm going to export that. I'll just save it on the desktop because I'm not going to keep this. I'm obviously going to delete it because it's not that appealing, to be honest. Let's just title it Vegeta, or VEG for short. JPEG, saved, it's exported. It won't preview on its own, so when you go down, and if I highlight it and double click it right here, it's on my desktop saved as VEG. Let me minimize this for convenience. And as you see, we have our thumbnail. Not overly appealing, but hey, we have our thumbnail. Let me go to Canva and show you guys a little bit of variation. Canva's slightly different. With Photoshop, you get to use a lot of anything that's placed in your computer. With Canva, it's a little different. Let me see if I still have my Canva membership available. Yes, it is. Okay, so here we go with Canva. So all my designs in Canva, this is an all designs button. If you look, this is some of the past things that I've made. So I'm going to show you the little bit of difference in Canva. So let's do create a design. You will want to hit create a design up here in the top left. Scroll down to, where is it? It's been a while. Where is it? It's been a long time since I've been here. Well, what do you know? It's not the same anymore. We really don't have YouTube thumbnails up? Custom dimensions. Okay, let's go 1280 by 720. since that's what I save mine on. Usually there's a button down here for YouTube thumbnails, and it's usually on social media, but I don't see it. Maybe it's because I'm not a member and this isn't personalized anymore. So what do I say? 1280 by 720, and px, of course, because that's pixels. Create new design, and what it'll do is it'll take you to the next page, and you will have a blank canvas. Okay, so now the first thing you do, you want to go to your uploads, because this is pretty much where you keep your past stuff. As you can see, I have past things here because of the fact that I've created on here already. So let's just say, for the sake of convenience, for a background, we're going to pick blue, which is the one difference in this is it doesn't set as well. So when you pick a background here, it's not like Photoshop, but the fact that you actually get to like pick the background and rescale it. If you wanted to do that, you would have to go to elements and pick something like a box, and then scale the box and use the color up here to change the color of the box, as you see me doing. But for the convenience of not wanting to do that, we're going to just delete that out completely. So let's delete that. Let's go back to uploads. We got our background selected. We're going to pick Goku over here. He's already over there because of the fact that I used him in the past. You just put him on in, scale him on out. I never really loved the text on Canva, so that's why I didn't have a lot of fun doing it. But as you see, we got Goku picked. Scaled him out, just make him a little bit bigger so he fits into the picture. Let's bring it down slightly. As I said earlier, this isn't about style, it's just about showing operation. And then let's place, I don't want to put another person in here. Why not put Vegeta? Why not? For the hell of it, let's just put Vegeta in here. He's my favorite character in the Dragon Ball universe, so let's just put him in there. Scale him up just for convenience. Alright, I believe I have my Dragon Ball logo in here somewhere. I've uploaded a lot of things here and it holds a database, so as you see, boom, here's my Dragon Ball logo. Same way that you placed it in Photoshop, you just place it on in, scale it down from the corner edges. You still see that you get those lines to kind of show you symmetry, as you can see that purple dotted line across the middle. So that's pretty decent. I never was a large fan of the text in Canva, which is kind of what made me get into Photoshop, but I'll show you how it works. So with this one, it's not like you do a text box. Instead, what you would do is you actually pick something from over here and you would scroll it on in. So we're going to pick Dazzle. I'm not a large fan of the Dazzle, but we'll pick it. Matter of fact, I don't feel razzle dazzled at all, but we'll pick it. So we'll double click Razzle. Let's go ahead and do a Control All. It's not the same. Oh, that's right. And one thing I don't love about Canva also, so if you see how I'm trying to pick this text, it's technically in second boxes, because if you look at this, the sample over here, it's two different like styles of text and they're in different sizes. So whenever you select, it makes you pick it in different actual boxes, as if I was to have two text boxes, even though I brought one sample in. So you would highlight this if you didn't want it, delete that just to get it out the way. We're going to check the word Dazzle and just change it to tutorial. Once again, disregard my kindergarten typing. Alright, and then if you want to change colors of that text, just go ahead and highlight, go up here, you see how the colors have changed. We'll go white since this is a black background. You can also resize it over here. If you look, the text can go bigger, smaller, but the one thing about this is their boxes are different to size, so as you move this, it will resize the box somewhat. This is why I'm not the largest fan of Canva, but you know, you would have to play around with this and tamper with it, and you will kind of get things that you want to see. I'm not going to do it for the sake of the convenience of the video, because I am a Photoshop user, but just to kind of show you guys how it operates. This is a much more affordable option if you need to use it, but if you can get over to Photoshop, I would recommend you do that. As I said earlier, I will put the description in the caption of the video. So with that being said, I hope this helps you guys out somewhat. I didn't go overly thorough. I wanted to keep it simple and try to keep the video pretty short. If you do have any questions, hit me up in the comments, or either check out some of my other videos from this series, because I will continue with some things that are a little more elaborate. With that being said, I'll go ahead and wrap this video up. I'll show you guys a slideshow of some of the different thumbnails I've done, just so you can see how elaborate that they can get if you're really putting some time in. But it'll take more than probably the 7 to 10 minutes that this video will be, as far as showing like how a doped out actual full thumbnail could look. So like I said, I hope you guys are happy with that. If you did enjoy the video, hit the like button for me. As always, hit the subscribe button for me, because I'll be back with more content. It's your boy Lou Streets. I am out. I hope this was somewhat helpful, and if it wasn't, let me know in the comments why it wasn't, and I'll try to make sure that things are a little more translatable going forward. Thanks again. It's your boy Lou Streets. I am out. Peace.